So I'm going to talk about the next big prospect that's coming out of Australia. Now, I haven't actually seen too much love for this guy, which is really, surprising. He's really fucking good. So, he's probably the best prospect we got coming out of the Bantamweight Division 2. His name's Cody Haddon. He's 4-1 as a pro. Now you say 4-1, he's lost. You say, "Oh, why are you hyping this guy up? Like he's not undefeated." His one loss was a 29-28 decision loss to the number 13 ranked flyweight in the UFC, Steven Astroboy Erceg. On short notice, competitive fucking fight. Like he went to war. He had a more competitive fight with Steve Erceg than David Dvorak did. I'm not even exaggerating. He went to fucking absolute war with Erceg. And Dvorak pretty much arguably lost 30-27 to Erceg. This guy is fucking good. He has amateur wins against Daniel Williams, who, if you watch one, you'll know Daniel Williams. Fought Rodtang, lost in Muay Thai, but, he's got some wins in one. But, yeah, Cody Haddon just chokes him out in 44 seconds in his first amateur fight. It was both of their first amateur fights, to be fair, but still, good win. He beat Jared Wilbraham, who's a really good fucking guy coming out of the Australian scene as well, who's, I believe 7-2 now. And a big bantamweight too. This guy, he's big, and fucking Cody Haddon, he beat him in a competitive fight. And yeah, this guy, Cody Haddon, he's fucking good. Good boxing background. I think he's something like 44-8 in amateur boxing. He's won jiu-jitsu competitions. His wrestling solid. He's just a really well-rounded guy. 24 years old. The only thing that he's had going against him is he's not been too active. He's dealt with a few injuries here and there, but he's actually booked in a fight for the, I believe, for the interim bantamweight championship in Hex against Raja Shippen, who's I believe the striking coach out of Absolute MMA and Fitness. He's a decent guy, 19-12, very experienced. Got wins against all sorts of different types of guys all around the world. But Cody Haddon, he's on another level. This guy's fucking good. And before long, this guy's going to be on Dana White Contender Series, or he's going to be in the UFC. I guarantee it. The way he went to war with Steve Erceg, nobody has had a competitive fight like that with Erceg. Erceg lost one of his earlier fights that some people, I believe, said that Erceg could have won that fight, or it could have been a draw, something like that. But fucking Cody Haddon just went to war with him, and they train together now. Imagine how much better both of them are going to be now. They're getting that looks that they got from that fight now, then they're doing it. They're training every now and then. They're just going to get better and better. He's like Steve Erceg. I think he has a massive ceiling. I was picking him against Dvorak, and you're going to say, well, you're biased. You pick all the Aussies. Which maybe true. But he went and beat David Dvorak. And Cody Haddon fucking had a competitive fight with him. This guy is UFC caliber. He is going to be in the UFC before long, and he's a bantamweight. In the future, I'd love to see Cody Haddon versus Cameron Simon. That would be such a fucking sick fight. Both of their styles, both well-rounded, both good everywhere. That's like a dream fight for me. I'm not even exaggerating. I'd love to see that fight down the line. Haddon's boxing is so fucking good. He's with the boxing, he's like a bantamweight Jack Della Maddalena, but with competent jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying Jack Della doesn't have competent jiu-jitsu, but he's not just throwing, he's not just going for guillotines like Jack was last weekend. He's got competent jiu-jitsu. He can finish without just having to rock you. He can just take you down and choke you out. That's what I mean by that. Jack Della's got good jiu-jitsu though, don't get me wrong. Haddon, just fucking good everywhere, well-rounded, tough. Fucking as I'm going on, he's had competitive fights. He's come back and win them. Like he's not just like he's not just a hammer. Like he can. He's showing toughness. Like he can come back from a tough fight and he can come back and win it. And he can just keep pushing. Like he's like, yeah, I can't hype him up enough. This guy's gonna be in the UFC and he'll fucking make waves. So hopefully he beats Raja Shippen, which should be a fun fight. I think he's gonna get that one done. All respect though, Raja's, he's a tough guy. He could win that. He's a veteran. He could come in there with some veteran moves or whatever. But I think Haddon wins that. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he got the Dana White Contender Series call up right after that. If not, fights another fight. But against probably Sean Gauci, who is the other guy who beat Steve Erceg. But I haven't actually watched the full fight. I've heard people say that Erceg could have won it, or it could have been a draw with an Erceg 10-8. I can't really speak too much because I haven't watched it myself personally. But that's still a good guy to fight. And if Haddon was to beat him, that's like another fucking big feather on his cap. But honestly, I think he should get the Dana White Contender Series call up if he wins this fight against Raja Shippen. Like, this guy's that fucking good. Like normally I'd be like, oh, don't rush the fighter. It's all right to get some wins here and there, but nah. Like I feel like it's dangerous to let him keep fighting people on the regional scene. Like he's fucking deadly with the hands. He's got brutal KO power at bantamweight. Like think about that. There's not many people you see flatlining people out cold at bantamweight. He is like flatlining people, like actually brutally KOing them at bantamweight. Like it's not just skill. He's got some natural fucking power too. And yeah, before long, Dana White Contender Series for sure. But next big thing out of Australia, you got to remember the name Cody Haddon. Like trust me, this guy is gonna do big things. And at the very least, he's gonna have a lot of fucking fun fights. Like he's already, besides Erceg, nobody's really given him too much trouble. Besides Erceg, I guess his most competitive fight was probably against Jarrett Wilbraham, who got him down a few times. Just like had a pretty competitive fight, but then Haddon ended up taking it, getting a slam, finishing him on the ground. But yeah, and Wilbraham's a really good fucking fighter too. Like this guy's good, and Haddon beating him just shows that this guy's fucking good too. Like I know I'm just like ranting, but like yeah, Cody Haddon, get him on the Dana White Contender Series if he wins. When's the fight? It's in August. Realistically, yeah, he could make Dana White Contender Series like maybe the last week or two. Like he needs to be in there. The fact that he had such a competitive fight with Steve Erceg, and now everybody knows. Like I've been ranting about on Twitter and stuff like that. I've been ranting about Steve Erceg for years, and I don't think many people believe me. But then Steve Erceg went in there and proved that he's the real deal against David Dvorak. And I'm telling everybody right now, Cody Haddon's the real deal. Like this guy is going to do great things, and yeah, he's got to be in there. Got to be in the mix. Dana White Contender Series for sure. Like there's a lot of good talent coming out of Australia right now, and especially coming out of Cody's team. Actually, what's his team called? I don't want to say. I think I know what it's called, but I don't want to say it unless I say it properly. It's Lazistro Combat Academy, that's it. They have a fair few good guys coming out of there. They have Quillan Salkilled, who just won the Eternal Lightweight belt against a pretty hyped up prospect too, Blake Donnelly. And he knocked him out in 32 seconds. Just fucking slept him. And Donnelly's like a really good guy, good boxer. And he just fucking made it look easy out there. He's another one to keep your eye on. Like there's a fair few guys coming out of that gym, like not just Haddon, but like they'll be in the mix before long too. Yeah, like Perth in general has like a lot of good prospects coming out of it. Like there's a lot of like, good up and coming Perth fighters. Like all there is to do here is to fight. Pretty much, it gets fucking boring. But yeah, keep your eye on Cody Haddon. He fights Raja Shippen, Hex Fight Series 27, August 18th. So, that's like next month away, so not too long. So hopefully that fight goes through. There's actually a fair few talent, like a lot of up and coming talent on that card. Like Abdullah Bayeda versus Khan Offley, the winner of that, almost certainly going to get on the Dana White Contender Series too. But I think like out of all these prospects and everything right now, Haddon definitely has the highest ceiling. But there is some like guys already on Dana White Contender Series from Australia coming up, like Tom Nolan. He's someone that also to keep your eye on, but he's already on Dana White Contender Series, so it's like no point of me to like hype him up. Like he's gonna do his thing. He's gonna win more than likely. He's fighting a tough Austrian dude, but yeah, he'll probably win, and then people know he's the real deal. Like I've watched his whole Eternal career, and fucking he just. Yeah, that guy. He runs through people. I think he's going to do very well. But yeah, to get back on the track, Cody Haddon, versus Raja Shippen, August 18th, wins that Dana White Contender Series. That's the most logical thing for him, I reckon. He'll be 5-1, which normally, it's not a bad record by any means, but people might be hard to hype somebody up with a record like that, but when you see like that one loss is to Steve Erceg, who is a fucking killer himself, even then he has a 5-0 amateur career. So when you think about it, he's 9-1. He'll be 5-1. Oh well, he'll be 10-1 as a combined MMA record if he beats Raja Shippen, which isn't guaranteed, like by any means, but I think I predict that he will win that. And then he should be on the call up to the UFC. I reckon makes all the sense in the world. This guy is fucking good. Like just go through his like fight past career. Even watch that fight with Erceg. Even knowing it's a loss, he lost no stock in that fight. He gained stock in that fight because Erceg is fucking good. Yeah, I swear a lot. I gotta stop that. I got too much of a potty mouth, but. Yeah, like having such a competitive fight, Steve Erceg, he's like, and at the time he would have been like, I think he would have been 22. He was 22 years old against Steve Erceg there, like fucking young. Like imagine the improvements he's made since then. Like he's just gonna constantly improve and improve. Like this guy could be up there in the future. I'm not saying like right away, but he could be in there like top 10, top 5, maybe champ, who knows. Like the way he fights now, like if he keeps improving and improving, this guy is going to be a problem in that UFC division. Like he'll get there. Like I have faith, not just pure Aussie bias, but I have faith he's going to do it. Like there's so many fights out there. Like imagine him versus Raul Rosas Jr. Like gets past that first round of like Raul coming out and just trying to take him down, he'd probably knock Raul Rosas Jr. out, like non-biasedly. I mean, it might be hard. Raul Rosas got a pretty good chin, but he could finish him with body shots. Like this guy's boxing is legit. Like, yeah, like I can't hype this guy up enough. Like the fact that I haven't seen many people hyping him up. Like I've seen a few people, but like. I don't know, I feel like people underestimate the Australian scene quite a lot. Like, there are so many killers. Like, the Australian scene's got such good striking as well. Like, when somebody comes through and just destroys people on the feet, you got to take notice of that sort of stuff. Because I reckon the Australian scene's probably got some of the best MMA boxing. So a lot of the guys on the Australian scene, they all seem to have good boxing backgrounds, good hands, even a lot of Muay Thai fighters in the Australian scene. And when somebody comes through and just like pretty much destroys them on the feet, you got to take notice of that. Because in my opinion, I mean, look at Volkanovski. He's probably the best striker in the UFC. And even, you know, Jack Della is probably one of the best, probably is the best boxer. I know people are like hard on him right now because of the fight he had last weekend, but you know, he cut weight 2 times in back-to-back weeks, and even then, he would have finished that guy if he didn't make some dumb decisions with going for them guillotines, but he still won. And that guy's got hands. You know, Della's from Perth, Haddon's from Perth. Maybe Perth is just the fucking center for MMA boxing. Because the guys coming up, fucking, they got hands. Everybody in like the MMA scene seems to have hands. And when somebody comes through, I'm sorry I'm probably sound like a broken clock repeating myself, but when somebody comes through and just destroys people with their hands in the Australian regional scene, you have to take notice of that sort of stuff, because the Australian regional scene, our striking is like up there with some of the best in the regional scenes, in my humble opinion. But anyway, I'll stop my little rant, but fucking Dana White, Sean Shelby, you just need to sign this guy for Dana White Contender Series. He will fucking put on a show. His boxing, even his jiu-jitsu, his grappling is entertaining. He will go for it. Like, he's not like some boring fighter. He won't stall or something. He's always going for the finish. He's always in entertaining fights. Like, he needs to be signed to Dana White Contender Series for a fight after this fight against Raja if he wins. Because I cannot hype this guy up enough. Now, yeah, but the bantamweight division in general is pretty good in the Australian regional scene. There's another fighter who's really good as well, Kobe Thickness, who trains out of freestyle with Volkanovski, and I'll probably make a video about him in the future, because yeah, that guy's really fucking good too. Hopefully these two don't fight and negate one prospect, because I like them both. So hopefully one of them gets signed to the Dana White Contender Series of the UFC before soon. So like they don't have to kill each other, because I would hate to see that. But if they ever fight, I'd rather it be in like the UFC or something, because they're both really fucking good prospects. But yeah, thanks for listening to the coherent rants of a madman. But yeah, I appreciate anyone who listens to this. Even though I'm first starting off, not going to have many people listening and everything, but I'm fucking so passionate about this sport that I'm just going to keep fucking putting these videos out until I get attention, you know? Because I just love talking about MMA. It's one of my joys in life. And I love making videos about the Australian scene and the prospects coming up, because, you know, it could be just pure bias, but the fucking people coming up in our scenes, like, fucking keep your eye on them. All we can do especially in Western Australia, all we can do is fucking punch cunts. There's not really much to do except for like training to fight, thinking about fighting. Like, it gets pretty boring here, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's why it's a harsh land, the weather's shit sometimes. Like, all there is to do is to train how to fight, and you know, that's pretty much it. Australians know how to throw down. Like, we just love to fight. So I'm going to make more videos about like up and coming prospects, like not just Australians, but a lot of it will be Australians, because I watch a lot of Australian regional promotions. Like, I even pay for like Hex. Like, I've never thought I'd ever buy like a pay-per-view that wasn't UFC related, but I was like, fuck it, I need to see these fights. So yeah, without like going on too much, like, I'm very passionate about the Australian scene. Like, and I feel like I have a good eye for prospects. So when I say this guy is going to make waves in the UFC eventually, I fucking truly believe it. So I'm going to stop ranting now. But thanks to all those who listen. So please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Catches.